Have you ever wanted to play a supernatural class such as Vampire, Werewolf, or even Necromancer in Minecraft? That's right, the ability to summon an army of undead to do your bidding. Supernatural Network is a new server that will be coming out here in the next upcoming weeks. The server is bringing a ton of unique things in Minecraft and giving you a reason to be excited to join. Firstly, we are developing a custom plugin called Supernatural Classes. This will add 7 classes on release, and shortly after there will be 3 more classes being added. These classes are Vampire, Werewolf, Demon, Ghoul, Witchhunter, Priest, and Necromancer. After release, we will then add Angel, Shade, and Siren to the game. I'll be going more in depth on what all those classes do, but first, I'll continue with the unique features we will have on the server. On top of that plugin, we will have a level up feature we all know and love, MMO, but on top of that there will be a level restrictions, so in order to use that diamond pickaxe that you so desperately need, you will have to level up your mining. This is because the server will have some MMO gameplay to keep things interesting and fairly unique. Each class will over time have its own unique storyline that will have you doing stuff you might normally not think about doing in Minecraft. These quests will give you some unique rewards and other things of that nature. On top of that, we will also have another custom-made plugin that is going to be built specifically with supernatural classes. This will be Supernatural Arena, a 5v5 arena that allows you to join up and go head-to-head in a 5v5 game mode. From game modes like Deathmatch, a game mode in which you have 1 life and you must be the last team alive to win. Arena, a kill count based game in which the team with the most kills at the end wins. Capture the flag, kind of obvious, but the team who has infiltrated the enemy base and stole the most flag at the end of the game will win that. And defense. One team has to defend the enemy from breaking into their base and then destroying the TNT block. All of this and all the other plugins that we use makes Supernatural Network extremely unique. However, what separates us from your average MMO and PvP survival server is our class-based system. I will go ahead and break down all of those classes right now. Our class system uses magic in order to power up your moves and actually activate your abilities. All of our active abilities require you to use a specific amount of magic, which you'll be able to find by joining our Discord. Link will be in the description of this video below. I know earlier I said there's 7 classes and then 3 more after that, making a total of 10. However, there is one hidden class, and that's Human, which is simply a basic in-between class role. You don't gain anything, but you also don't lose anything. It's just a simple, if you join a normal server, that's exactly what a human is. But now let's go ahead and jump into the actual classes. First we have Vampire, which is a melee DPS. You gain magic by killing creatures, killing players, as well as gained over time while you're logged into the server. It's a passive ability. Speaking of passive abilities, you have the ability to breathe underwater, which also drains magic, health regeneration, which also drains magic, increased attack damage, combat damage reduction, fall damage immunity, and truce with some monsters. These being your classic normal spawn monsters during the night in the normal world. Going over to active abilities, you will have the ability to set a teleport location and then teleport after that, which is a different ability. And that's exactly how it sounds. You simply set a teleport location, then at any time you can go ahead and teleport, which uses 9,000 magic. Next you have high jump, which allows you to jump extra high into the air. And then you have create blood rose potion, which will be explained shortly later. Just like all classes, vampires also have a weakness. The weaknesses are the fact that you catch fire in the sunlight unless you have a golden helmet, which if you do, it drains magic. You have increased damage taken from any wooden object by 4 times the normal amount. You cannot use any wooden objects. On top of that, you can't actually eat any food. You can only gain your food up by attacking players and non-aggressive mobs. In order to become a vampire, you can do several different things. One, you can die by a bat, which by the way, they're all aggressive on the server. When you die to a bat, you have a 1 in 10 chance of becoming a vampire. If you die by another vampire, you have a 1 in 8 chance. Or you can use one of 2 guaranteed ways, one of which is drinking the blood rose potion, which vampires can create 1 time. Or you can go ahead and pray to an unholy altar and become a vampire that way. Next, we have werewolves. Werewolves are another melee DPS. You gain magic by killing players, killing creatures, or eating meat. Your passive abilities are health regeneration, increased attack damage by 4 times, fall damage reduction by 3 times the normal height, truce with wolves, which FYI are naturally aggressive in this world, and increased speed at night. Your active abilities are summon wolf pet, which summons an automatically tamed wolf right around you, dash, which allows you to dash across several blocks, allowing you to quickly get from one place to another, as well as dodge potential strikes and damages. And the last ability you have is create Moonflower Potion. Your weaknesses as a wolf are the fact that your passive and active abilities are only activated at night, and you cannot use any weapons whatsoever at night. As a werewolf, there's actually only 2 ways to become a werewolf. You can either become a werewolf by dying by a wolf, which is a 1 in 10 chance, and they are naturally aggro in the world, or you die by another werewolf, which is a 1 in 8 chance to become a werewolf. The next supernatural class we have is ghouls. Ghouls are the tanks in the first iteration of classes. You gain your magic by killing creatures or killing players. Passive abilities include health regeneration, increased damage resistance by 2 times the normal amount, combat damage reduction, fall damage immunity, and truce with undead monsters. Your active abilities are summon zombie, which allows you to summon a simple zombie around you, unholy bond, which allows you to reflect 1/4 of the damage that you take back to the creature or person attacking you. And finally, you have the create ghoulish potion. The weaknesses are damage by water and rain, and they cannot use any weapons. There's also only 2 ways to become a ghoul. You can either die by any undead monster, which is a 1 in 10 chance to become a ghoul, or drinking ghoulish potion. Demons are next up, and they're one of 2 ranged DPSs in the game. Demons gain magic by killing creatures, killing players, or standing in lava. Their passive abilities are immune to all fire damage, immune to fall damage, heal while in lava, as well as immune to lava damage, obviously if they healed to that, and they also have bonus damage when inside nether or lava. One other passive ability is they travel the normal swimming speed whilst in lava. Their active abilities are Fireball, which allows you to throw a fireball in the direction you're looking at, catching anything it hits on fire. Explosion, which creates an explosion around you that's equivalent to TNT. Snare, a spell that lasts a few seconds. This will cause the target not to be able to move whatsoever. And lastly, create Hell Ash Potion. Their weaknesses are they cannot wear any armor, and they lose magic when they're not in lava or nether. On top of that, their stats are dramatically reduced. Demons are only able to become demons by dying in lava, which is a 1 in 10 chance, or dying to the nether, which is also a 1 in 10 chance. Up next, we have the last official supernatural class, which is Necromancer. The next 2 are actually humans and technically not really supernatural. Necromancers are summoners, but also they can be classified as melee DPS. You gain magic by killing players, as well as being in the dark. Their passive abilities include being allied with any undead creature or monster, as well as increased damage at night. Their active abilities are Summon Skeleton, which summons a random skeleton around you, Undead Summon, which summons a random undead creature. This can be any creature that is considered undead. Please keep in mind that this class hasn't been developed as of yet. However, we are going to try to make these summons be able to be completely tamed creatures that follow you around. However, if we're not able to, they will simply just be normal skeletons and normal undead creatures that summon around you that are simply not going to attack you, which obviously goes into the passive ability. Back to the active abilities, you have Resurrection Spawn and Resurrection. Resurrection Spawn simply allows you to target any block whatsoever to resurrect to when you die. And finally, you have Create Book of Death. They have 2 weaknesses, and those are the fact that you can only wield or wear netherite armor and weapons. There's also only 2 ways to become a necromancer. You either read from the Book of Death, or you find an unholy altar and pray there. Now we're jumping into the humanoid classes, and by humanoid, I simply mean just human. These classes are Priest and Witch Hunter. However, we're going to talk about Priests right now. Priests are able to gain magic by donating to the church and passively over time. Their passive abilities includes additional damage to supernaturals, as well as the ability to smite supernaturals and monsters, which will do extra damage on top of catching them on fire. Their active abilities are Banish Supernaturals, which will send the target player to a banished location, Drain Supernaturals, which will remove 15% of the target's current magic, and Cure Supernatural, which will restore the target's humanity and remove any supernatural abilities they have. This can be done with or without the target's will. Next, they have Heal Human, which will allow you to heal any target that you have as long as they are not a supernatural class. Next up, you have Guardian Angel, which is an ability that will protect your friend from death once. However, there is a time limit on that, so you have to activate it at a certain time in order to make sure that the person survives. Once again, this can only be done on a human type class. And then they have the Create Holy Book. The weaknesses are the fact that they cannot wear any armor, and they cannot attack any animals. Priests become a priest by either praying to a holy altar, or by reading the Holy Book. Last but not least, for the original 7 supernatural classes that will be coming out on release, is the Witchhunter. This class gains magic by killing players, as well as killing players on the kill list, which is pretty much bounties that other players in the server can set. They only have one passive ability, and that's fall damage reduction by 3 times the normal height. Now their active abilities are Triple Arrow, which sends 3 arrows back to back, hitting the target almost instantly, allowing them to also pick up all those arrows that they drop for almost infinitely spawned arrows. Next up, you have Grapple Arrow, which shoots out an arrow allowing you to grapple up to that location. Fire Arrows next shoots out a fiery arrow causing whatever it hits to catch on fire. Power Arrow after that, dealing 4 times the normal damage of a simple arrow. However, using that will cause the bow to go into a cooldown for a small period of time. Lastly, we have Create Book of Witcher. To become a Witch Hunter, you either read the Book of Witcher, or by going to the Witch Hunter organization and using the bookshelf there. And that completes the original 7 classes. I'm not going to go ahead and talk about the other 3 classes. I will release a separate video once they actually get released, so stay tuned for that. If you're still watching, that means that more than likely you're interested in the server, so please feel free to go to the description below this video and join our Discord server. From there, you can get all the latest information, updates, and also the IP once it is released. If you want to help out the server further, you can go ahead and join our Patreon as well as donate. Both those links are also going to be in the description below. This will allow us to speed up the development of the server significantly.